It was total drama in the quarter-final game between Mali and Ivory Coast in Total Energy AFCON 2023. Despite having a player less, 9 in the end, and South Africa's superhero goalkeeper who broke a new record. You are welcome to another exciting episode of Sports Catalog as we give you updates on Saturday night matches, which are Mali vs Ivory Coast, Cape Verde vs South Africa. Ivory Coast pulled off an astonishing extra-time comeback win, despite being a man down as they beat Mali 2-1 on Saturday evening. The hosts needed a penalty shootout to get past Senegal in their first-round knockout match, while Mali beat Burkina Faso 2-1. The first half was marked by chaos as Saikou Niakate had a penalty appeal for handball turned down as he was offside, before Odilon Kasuna conceded one for a foul on Lassine Sissoko, only for Adama Traoré to miss the penalty. Despite the disadvantage, the Elephants did well to hold on as long as they could, before Dorjil's stunner in the 71st minute ensured the visitors had a precious lead. As the match crept closer towards the end of regulation time, it looked like Mali had ousted the hosts before a moment of brilliance from substitute Adringa kept their hopes alive. In the second half, Douglas Nene put Mali ahead, only for Ivory Coast to dramatically equalize in the 90th minute thanks to Simon Adingra. In the last minute of extra time, Oumar Diakite became the hero, scoring the goal that secured his country's place in the semi-finals. From one man down, Ivory Coast had a reason to fight, and they continued to probe for chances before a last-ditch effort at the very tail end of extra time produced one of the most remarkable turnarounds you will ever see. Odilon Kasuna, sent off late in the first half, captain Serge Aurier and forward Christian Kwame have also been ruled out of the semi-final due to suspensions. This was the sixth meeting of the countries in the AFCON, with the two-time champions Ivory Coast winning 4 and drawing 1 previously against rivals whose best showing was 1972 runners-up. Mali will almost certainly have to answer to the African footballing authorities after the disgraceful post-match scenes with the referee, but they only have themselves to blame for their exit. They never really threatened to capitalize on their numerical advantage and sat back nervously even after Dorjils gave them the lead. Sacking their manager in the group stages, you imagined it could not get more difficult for Ivory Coast. Their determination saw them through, yet again, and Oumar Diakite's winner was as ridiculous as you could imagine, given everything they had put their fans through. Ivory Coast now return to Abidjan, where they will face the Democratic Republic of Congo on Wednesday in the semi-finals, but Diakite is set to miss out after picking up a second yellow card while celebrating his winning goal. Mali, who had topped their group unbeaten, had never before lost an AFCON quarter-final, winning all 5 times they had reached that stage, but were left to reflect on yet another defeat by their West African neighbors. They have now lost 13 of the past 19 meetings between the countries, including a last 16 AFCON defeat in 2019, and this result, and the manner of it, will be a bitter pill to swallow for Eric Schell's side. Mali will almost certainly have to answer to the African footballing authorities after the disgraceful post-match scenes with the referee, but they only have themselves to blame for their exit. They never really threatened to capitalize on their numerical advantage and sat back nervously even after Dorgiels gave them the lead. South Africa goalkeeper saved 4 penalties in a dramatic penalty shootout against the Cape Verde, to carry his country into the last 4 of the Africa Cup of Nations after a 0-0 draw in their quarter-final on Saturday. South Africa are into the semi-finals of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations after a penalty shootout win over Cape Verde. After the two sides failed to score in 120 minutes, the shootout proved an equally low-scoring affair as only one of the first 6 was converted, but with Bafana Bafana keeper Ronwen Williams saving 4 spot kicks, his side edged through. Mothobi Mbala scored the decisive kick to make it 2-1 on penalties and win South Africa a semi-final place for the first time since 2000, as they kept their hopes of winning a trophy they last lifted in 1996 alive. Bafana Bafana now take on Nigeria in Bouak in their semi-final on Wednesday, with hosts Ivory Coast facing DR Congo in the other last 4 clash. In the last minute of regular time, Gilson Tabares missed a clear opportunity that hit the crossbar, which would have meant Cape Verde advancing to the last 4 of the tournament. A penalty shootout stood between Cape Verde and a first appearance in the Africa Cup of Nations semi-finals. However, they were unable to capitalize with 4 of their players unsuccessful from the spot. Aided by Williams' heroics, South Africa held their nerve to progress to the last 4 for the first time since 2000. Epilogue. Ivory Coast now return to Abidjan, where they will face the Democratic Republic of Congo on Wednesday in the semi-finals, but Diakite is set to miss out after picking up a second yellow card while celebrating his winning goal. South Africa will meet Nigeria again in semi-final as they did in year 2000 Africa Cup of Nations. We all know our viewers are enjoying the AFCON 2023 as you continue to join Sports Catalog for updates. Share, like and comment as we meet again in our next episode.